Hello, dear friends. Today, we're going to escape from an evil dog in Roblox. It's right behind me, but it's asleep, so we're safe for now.
Hello, everyone. Ahead of us are thrilling challenges and boss battles. By the way, if you know the name of this dog, be sure to write it in the comments.
Sheriff Labrador, let's jump on his belly.
Let's do it, but we need to be ready in case he wakes up.
Don't worry about that. I think he stuffed himself and watched TV all night.
It seems we need to get to the ventilation, but there's a small parkour course. Good thing I've been practicing parkour since school.
Oh no, you broke his mom's favorite vase. It seems like he's sleeping soundly. I hope he doesn't notice the shards when he wakes up.
We'll quickly sneak through and escape.
Great, now we need to overcome this giant room.
I see some metal platforms ahead. We need to press the button.
What do you think these trials are for in this dog's house? I don't think he's the one going through them, although they would be good physical exercises, which promote health.
Wow, look, it's a zip line. I used to ride one of these when I was a kid. Maybe it's all to ensure that no one can reach him and disturb his sleep. But here we are, trying to escape from him. Why he kidnapped us is indeed strange.
Look, he has a wife and kids. Why haven't we seen them?
And on the picture on the left, his friend is depicted Talking Tom.
I have a theory that we've entered a universe of talking animals. Perhaps this is a kind of hell, because no one would like to be forced to talk, especially to say exactly what you don't want.
Exactly. And that's why he built these trials, to get as far away as possible from the fate of endless talking. Now we just need to find the others and figure out why we were kidnapped.
That's a possibility. It could be that they kidnapped us to replace them in conversations, so they can be free. Or perhaps they feed on other animals, and that gives them the ability to talk.
Or maybe they're just a little bit crazy.
This option is worth considering too. Let's focus on getting out of here and finding out what's really going on.
It looks like we need to climb into the ventilation system. This is the transition to the next location. Hopefully we'll encounter some new characters along the way.
It seems you're right. There's Talking Tom standing there.
Oops, he fell.
Get ready to run. I don't think he has good intentions.
Have you ever seen the Tom with red eyes? He looks like he's ready to flatten us like pancakes.
It feels like he's about to shoot lasers from his eyes. What if he really can do more than just talk? We'd need some interesting superpowers for detaining suspects then.
Why did he hide around the corner? Did he think he wasn't visible?
Perhaps he's a little dumb or just sleepy and not very spatially aware.
He has such funny teeth like a child's. You know, for some reason, he seems even cute to me.
Maybe the environment is starting to affect you. I hope you won't turn into one of them right now. Did all this hypnotize you or something?
I don't even know. I hope I won't get absorbed by this atmosphere. If something's wrong, let me know.
Of course. Back in the ventilation again. We already dealt with Tom. Let's see who awaits us next.
Looks like a children's room. Maybe it belongs to Ben's kid?
You guessed it. It's a girl. I wonder what her name is, and if Ben's children are facing the same fate of constant talking like he is.
While you were talking, we fell right into her paws. Why did we get teleported back? I don't think she's as mean as Tom right now.
I think so too. If she wanted to bite us, she would have already gotten out of this grid. It has huge gaps between the bars.
Oh, so we found out her name is Lily. I don't see her brother's room here. Very strange. Is there any point in keeping them so far apart? Guys, write in the comments if you have a brother or sister, and if you share a room together.
Yeah, what if something happened to her brother, and here we are just casually talking about it? Also, perhaps this is precisely why everyone has gone mad and thinks we killed him.
Dobie, you're back to inventing theories again. It's only distracting us from the main goal. I think things aren't as bad with this place as you imagine.
It seems we've entered the central ventilation system, which provides oxygen to the entire complex. We could leave a surprise here.
Let's tell the guys the story of how you and I saved the city from the animal pirates instead. This story began when rumors started circulating in the city about strange events. Animals began behaving unusually, as if under the influence of something invisible.
Many of them fell into a strange trance, and some even disappeared without a trace. Labrador and I began an investigation, and soon discovered that behind all this were animal pirates who were planning to take over our city.
Our suspicions were confirmed when we discovered that the animal pirates had struck a deal with a company from another city to help them create a device capable of controlling the minds of those around them.
These pirates were cunning and well prepared, with a clear plan, and the backing of another company made their threat even more serious. We realized that if we didn't stop them, our city would fall into their hands.
The local scientist helped us determine that their device emitted a sound at a frequency inaudible to animals, but capable of inducing hypnosis and controlling them. We realized that standard methods of fighting crime wouldn't work in this case. So, we decided to create a device capable of absorbing sounds at a frequency that regular animals couldn't hear, and that could help us locate and destroy the enemy's device.
Creating this device was challenging, but we collaborated with the scientists to overcome the task. When we finally completed it, we set out to search for the pirate device, which was hidden somewhere in the city.
We roamed all the streets and alleys listening to the surrounding sounds until we finally noticed a strange signal that our sound-absorbing device picked up.
Oh no! Looks like he woke up and saw that we escaped. We headed toward the source of the signal and discovered the pirate device hidden in the basement of one of the abandoned buildings. We quickly dealt with the pirates' guards and destroyed their device. Thanks to this, the city was saved from capture, and the residents could sleep peacefully.
Yeah, we were awarded the Order of Bravery and even featured in the news. How I love my job. And you?
I also love my job very much. Being a sheriff is very exciting. Every day we face many trials and adventures, which gives rise to more and more new stories. It seems like even a whole lifetime wouldn't be enough to tell you all of them.
Ouch! The ventilation grill collapsed under our weight, and we're tumbling down.
In real life, falling like that would hurt. Your tumbling down reminded me of how I went sledding down a snowy hill during my winter vacation. It was a lot of fun.
I also plan to fly to a snowy country for my next vacation and thoroughly enjoy the beauty of nature and the cozy atmosphere.
And in the meantime, we've reached another parkour section, but this time someone has set up trampolines for us. That's very kind of them. Without the trampolines, I don't know how we would have climbed so high.
Just a little more, and we'll reach that button. I can't wait to face the main boss of this map. I think it will be Talking Angela since we haven't seen her yet.
I think it will be Talking Ginger, because I haven't seen a female main boss yet, and we also haven't encountered Ginger yet.
What kind of nuclear reactor does he have in his complex, and why does he need it? I hope he doesn't plan to destroy all living things.
You know, Labrador, sometimes I wonder how we both ended up on this path. I wonder what led us to choose the profession of sheriff.
Yes, Dobby, that's indeed an interesting question. I remember being fascinated by stories of heroes protecting their towns and loved ones since childhood. Especially inspiring were the tales from my grandfather, who served as a sheriff in his town. How about you? How did you come to this choice?
For me, it all began when I was a teenager. I always loved helping people and felt a desire to do something meaningful. One day, I met a sheriff who came to our school to talk about his work. I was so impressed by his stories of protecting people and maintaining order that I immediately realized, this is my calling. Remember our first operation together? We didn't know each other that well back then, but even then, we felt like we could rely on each other.
Yes, it was a test of endurance and we passed it. But you know, Dobie, I think being a sheriff is not just about skills and abilities. It's also about the desire to serve your community, to be part of something greater.
Well said, Labrador. We chose this profession because we wanted to protect and assist. Every day, we reaffirm our choice by seeing how our work makes the world a bit better and safer.
So, here we are, at this moment. We've reached the door behind which the main boss of this map awaits, and we were wrong about the main boss. It's actually the giant robot, Ben.
Let's shoot him right in the teeth.
I'll try shooting at his legs. Maybe that's his weak spot and he'll fall down.
What a coward Ben is. He didn't even bother to put up a fight at the end, and just opted to make a giant combat robot.
It wouldn't surprise me if he's sitting in his chair right now, either asleep or watching TV with a mug of coffee in hand.
I hope it's not something stronger than coffee, and he's probably watching some football while we're here sweating. That's not fair.
Hooray! Congratulations to us. Leave us some congratulations in the comments. And now it's time for us to leave this crazy house of talking animals.
Hold on, but aren't we also talking animals? Maybe it's related to our abduction. They wanted us to be part of the app about talking animals too. Guys, would you play such a game?
You're back with your scary theories again. Look, our motorcycle won't start. It would be funny if it ran out of gas.
Guys, it's time for us to say goodbye. We hope you enjoyed our escape from the talking animals.
Yes, don't forget to leave comments, like, and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. Also, check out our other videos and let us know what else you'd like to see us play.
Looks like duty calls. off we go to another adventure.
What's happening again? I hope it's not an attack by the giant robot Ginger.
No, Angela.
Goodbye. Hello, everyone. Sheriff Labrador here. Can you guess who we're escaping from today? And by the way, I'm not alone.
Yes, Dobby is here too.
As you can see, we're in the house trapped by the evil grandmother. Our task for today is to escape from here. We need to be quiet so as not to wake her up.
But it's not that simple. Don't let her age fool you. She has built a complex of challenges in her house.
Look, she threw away our photo. It seems she hates us.
Let's start the escape. Oh, look, this is a photo of that old man we've already run away from. Looks like they're married.
Oh no, I hope she doesn't wake up from this. Yes, I remember how we escaped from that old man. Be sure to check it out on our channel.
Wow, it looks like this vent led straight to the attic of this house. I hope that Grandma doesn't catch us here. Oh, she even set up mines.
She probably loves cats since there's a photo of one hanging in her attic. Although, all grandmas love cats.
Why do you think this old lady put us in a cage?
As she probably wanted to make soup out of us.
Oh, look, I just noticed we're at a great height, and there are spikes below us.
I hope we don't fall right into the grandmother's mouth when we come out of the ventilation.
I hope so, too. It would be tragic if she ate us right away.
There's a lot of dust in this ventilation. It's driving me crazy.
Oh, look, this grandma is right in front of us. I hope she doesn't wake up right now. Let's jump onto her belly.
Oh, that was unexpected, but it's good she didn't notice us.
Look, are those teeth in a jar? Fee!
I agree, that's disgusting. All right, we need to hurry before she wakes. I didn't even get to finish my sentence.
She's running right after us.
Sue, what are these snotty green cookies? We'd better not step on them.
She's even farting.
Oh no, she's too close. She might grab us by the tail.
Look, there's a red button in front of us. We need to press it quickly.
This button opened a passage ahead. Let's run there before the evil grandma catches us.
Oh, look how red the evil grandma turned. We should jump next to her.
Look, now she's not even paying attention to us.
There are so many cookies here. I was right when I said she really loves cookies.
The evil grandma is so clumsy that she even knocked over the glass of milk.
Grandma completely forgot about us. She's not even trying to chase us anymore.
Oh, look, it's a giant fan that will lift us straight up.
There are traps along our path set by the evil grandma, but we won't give up. We'll easily overcome them.
I completely agree with you, Dobby. There are no obstacles on our path that we cannot overcome.
Oh, we almost fell back down. We need to be more careful.
Hooray, we've overcome those traps.
Don't celebrate too soon. Let's see what awaits us next behind this door.
Look, we've ended up in some sort of dungeon.
Let's jump on these geysers. I think they'll help us move forward.
Hey, Dobby, don't you think it's getting too hot in here?
I agree with you. It's getting too hot here. Let's get out of here quickly and eat some cold ice cream.
Shoo, the board broke right under us. I hope that doesn't happen again.
Look, there's ventilation again. I think we should climb into it.
The ventilation is dusty again. I hope there are no spiders here.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see a giant spider here.
Oh no, we fell into the room where the evil grandma is knitting.
I hope we don't meet her here. I wouldn't want her to knit a scarf out of us.
Listen, it sounds like something gigantic is rolling nearby. Oh, Dobby, I wasn't imagining it. A giant ball of yarn just rolled past us. Oh no, we didn't quite make it to the safe spot in time. I hope we can reach a safe spot before the next one squashes us flat.
I think we just had a bit of bad luck with the timing.
How convenient that there are holes in the walls. If they weren't there, we would have been flattened a long time ago.
Oh, I can see the exit. I hope the end is near.
Hey, Dobby, to make it more exciting as we head towards the final showdown with the evil grandma, let's remember how we saved the city from the evil robot.
Of course, it was one of those days when everything seemed calm until the nightmare began. The sky darkened and a giant evil robot appeared on the horizon, casting a shadow over our town. The townsfolk were panicking, and we, Sheriffs Dobie and Labrador, knew we had to act fast.
First, we had to calm the people down and organize the evacuation of those in the danger zone. But then we decided to find out more about this monstrous machine.
We were shocked to discover that the robot was controlled by a deranged inventor who had lost control of his creation. The robot was rampaging through the town, causing havoc and destruction.
We realized there was no time to waste. We needed to act swiftly to save the town. We assembled a team and gathered all the resources we could find to stop this mechanical menace.
We devised a plan to disable the robot. It was risky, but we had no other choice. We had to protect our town and its people.
Using our knowledge of mechanics and some heavy-duty equipment, we managed to create a powerful electromagnetic pulse, EMP, device. Our goal was to get close enough to the robot to activate the EMP and shut it down.
With the help of our brave team, we set up a diversion to distract the robot while we got into position. It was dangerous, but we were determined to succeed.
As the robot focused on the diversion, Dobie and I made our move. We got close enough to activate the EMP, and with a loud hum, the robot started to malfunction.
The giant robot staggered and then collapsed, its systems fried by the EMP. The immediate threat was over, but we knew we had to secure the area and ensure the robot was completely disabled.
Working together, we dismantled the robot piece by piece, making sure it couldn't be reactivated. The townsfolk began to emerge from their hiding places, grateful and relieved.
Saving the town from the giant robot, we understood that the power of our unity and determination could overcome any challenge. Thanks to our joint effort, the town was saved, and Labrador and I are proud to have helped our community in its hour of need.
Did you see that giant pool filled with cookies? She's definitely crazy.
Yeah, but there's a trap here. Of course, it didn't work on us, but it was still scary. One wrong move and it's all over.
Look, there's another big fan here. Hopefully there are fewer traps this time around.
This fan has propelled us to crazy speeds.
I love speed, especially when I'm racing on my police bike to respond to calls.
Oh, look, the airflow from the fan lifted us up.
Let's jump carefully so we don't fall into the abyss.
This challenge room is longer than I thought. Hopefully, we'll get out of here soon.
Oh, there's a new obstacle ahead, but we're not afraid of it.
It's interesting why the evil old lady set up these challenges for us.
I think it's useless to dwell on that. Our main priority is to escape from here.
Oh, we weren't careful enough going through that obstacle course. Next time, we should watch our step more closely.
Carefulness and professionalism are crucial aspects of our work.
These pipes are taking us higher and higher. The main thing is not to fall into that abyss.
I think the exit from here is coming up soon. The key is not to rush, and everything will work out.
It's getting boring. Let's tell another story again.
With pleasure. It was one of those serene days when the sun was shining bright and the town was going about its usual business. But then came the relentless rain. At first, it seemed like a passing shower, but it soon became evident that this was no ordinary downpour. The streets were quickly flooding and panic spread among the townspeople. Sheriff Dobie and I knew we had to act swiftly.
First and foremost, we had to calm the frantic residents and swiftly organize the evacuation of those in the flood's path. It was a chaotic scene, with people desperately seeking higher ground as the waters rose.
Once the initial chaos was somewhat under control, we delved into understanding the cause of this sudden deluge.
To our astonishment, we discovered that a reckless scientist was to blame. He had been experimenting with weather control technology and inadvertently triggered this catastrophic flooding.
There was no time to waste. The safety of our town was at stake. We quickly assembled a team of rescuers and set out to confront this new challenge.
Together, we devised a plan to mitigate the flooding and clear the streets. It was risky, but in times of crisis, risks must be taken.
Using specialized equipment and strategic placements, we managed to divert the worst of the flooding away from populated areas and towards safer zones.
Through tireless effort and determination, we were able to stabilize the situation. The water levels began to recede, and the immediate danger passed.
As the town started to recover amidst the cleanup and restoration efforts, Dobie and I reflected on the resilience of our community. It was through our combined efforts and unwavering resolve that we managed to save our town from the brink of disaster.
The experience reinforced to us the importance of unity in the face of adversity. Together, we overcame the challenges posed by the flooding and emerged stronger as a community. Labrador and I take pride in having been able to assist our fellow townsfolk in their time of need.
Hey, Dobie, enough with the story. Look, there's a giant cookie in front of us. Let's get closer to it.
Let's grab it before the evil old lady comes.
I think it's a trap, so be prepared.
We're sheriffs after all. We're always ready.
I guessed it, but it was pretty obvious. What else could the grandma come up with? Look at how many of her clones are here.
When did she manage to multiply like this? I think we need to hurry, or they'll fill up this entire lawn.
Despite all our efforts, the clones of the evil old lady keep coming and coming.
We've already taken almost half of this old lady's health. It's good they gave us a bazooka instead of a revolver. Otherwise, we'd be fighting for a very long time.
Don't celebrate too soon. We need to be more careful or we'll end up trapped here forever.
I've noticed there are two types of grandmas here. Some die from one hit, while others have a lot of HP.
Hooray, we won! That was a thrilling battle.
Oh, I totally agree with you, Labrador. It was not an easy battle.
Now we just need to get out of this cursed house as quickly as possible.
Wow, what a car. It must be some powerful sports car. It even has cookie wheels. Since we defeated that grandma, it means we've accomplished our goal for today.
And that means it's time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button.
See you soon.
Hi, guys. Today, Dobie and I have entered the Roblox mode, Escape from Babysitter Betty's Nursery. Don't forget to like and comment.
Hi. So, Labrador, we're in the nursery, and it's pretty boring here. Looks like Betty is on the phone. A perfect moment to escape.
Yeah, Betty isn't usually very attentive, but if she gets angry, she becomes a real monster. We need to act quickly and carefully. Hey, do you remember that there's also the janitor Ben?
Of course. Ben is always running around the corridors with his huge mop. He probably dreams of catching us and sending us back to the nursery.
All right, let's start. Look, we need to crawl through this hole in the wall. Hey, Dobie, don't get stuck there.
Aha! I almost thought I was stuck. But no, I made it through. Wow, look, there's a whole maze of toys here. Is that a giant teddy bear?
Yeah, exactly. Let's pass by it and carefully go down this slide. I hope it's not too slippery. Oh, I almost fell.
Ha! Watch your step, Labrador. Hey, what do you think if Betty were a superhero? What would her superpower be?
I think she could teleport so she could instantly appear next to us and send us back to the nursery. What do you think?
I think her superpower would be sleepy dust. She would put all the kids to sleep instantly so they wouldn't escape. Oh, look, there's Ben with his mop.
Quick, hide behind this bed. Oh, Ben, you have no idea how close we are to you. Ha!
Whew, that was close. Now let's go through this pillow tunnel. By the way, what if Ben were the main character in a horror movie?
That would be something. The movie would be called Killer Mop Ben Returns. Ha! All right, just a bit more. Let's get to the exit quickly.
I see the door. We just need to get past this builder block and we're free. Hey, look, Betty is back. I hope she didn't see us.
All right, Dobie. Our task is to build a tower out of blocks to climb over this playpen fence. Look, I've already started. Hand me a couple more blocks.
Got it, Labrador. Here are some more blocks. By the way, do you remember how we used to escape from our babysitter when we were kids? She always made us take naps, but we just wanted to play.
Oh, of course I remember. We used pillows as steps to climb out the window. Good times. But now we've got a similar challenge. Almost done. Climb up.
Climbing up. I hope these blocks hold. Whoa, they're wobbling. Hold on tight, Labrador. Who made it? Now we need to build a block tower to reach the ventilation. This pile will do.
Look, there's the ventilation. I'm sure Ben is there. He's always on guard. Haha. He's like our watchdog, but with a mop. Let's get to work. Blocks in place.
Oh, Ben in the ventilation is just hilarious. I remember once he chased us with his mop when we tried to steal some cookies. He should be reminded of that. All right, climbing up.
I'm right behind you. Hey, look, there's Ben. He spotted us. Dobie, do you have a plan?
Of course, let's remember our childhood tricks. Remember how we set up obstacles? We'll do the same now. Let's throw blocks at him and make a run for it.
Great idea. Take this, Ben. Here's a block. Faster, Dobie. There's the ventilation door. Push it.
Hooray, we did it. Whew, we're out. Labrador, as always, you're the best. Remember how we used to escape as kids?
Of course I remember. That time when you put a pillow under the door to keep it from creaking, and then we quietly slipped out into the garden. Ha!
And the babysitter was looking for us all over the house while we hid in the bushes eating raspberries. That was so much fun.
When Dobie and I were little, our parents decided to have an evening without kids and hired a babysitter to look after us. We got the address and went there ourselves since our street was safe and our parents thought we could handle it. Unfortunately, we got the address wrong.
Yes, Labrador, I remember how it was. We approached the house that we thought was the right one. The door opened and a tall man in a white apron with a butcher knife in his hand stood before us. We were a bit confused but decided he must be our babysitter since the address matched.
We entered the house and immediately felt uneasy. The kitchen had large knives hanging everywhere, and there were chunks of meat all around. We noticed a refrigerator that looked suspicious. When he opened it to grab something, we saw jars with what looked like eyes.
I remember how scared I was. Labrador and I started whispering, thinking this guy was a real murderer. He kept playing with the knife and gave us strange looks. We couldn't believe our parents sent us to such a person.
We decided we had to get out of there somehow. But when we tried to leave, he suddenly asked us what we were doing. I almost screamed in fear, but then I pulled myself together and said we wanted to take a little walk.
To our surprise, he let us go. We left the house and ran as fast as we could. We decided to go back home and tell our parents what happened. When we finally got home, Mom and Dad looked worried.
They immediately knew something was wrong. We explained what happened and they realized they had given us the wrong address. The real babysitter was waiting for us at a house on another street.
Dad decided to go back to that house and figure out what was going on. When he returned, he was laughing. It turned out that the man was a local chef preparing for a big banquet. Those eyes in the refrigerator were just pickled olives and cherries.
We laughed about it for a long time, but that incident taught us to be more careful. Ever since then, every time we see a chef with a knife, we remember that day and laugh.
It was one of those childhood adventures that stayed with us for life. Sometimes scary things turn out to be completely harmless. The main thing is not to lose your head and stay brave. Guys, don't forget to like and comment.
Dobie and I were at our station when we received an urgent call. All the babysitters in the world had suddenly started a revolt and taken over one of the daycares in our town. We quickly geared up and headed to the scene. It was hard to believe what could have caused such chaos.
When we arrived, we were met with a strange sight. Babysitters, usually so calm and caring, now looked like an army ready for battle. They had barricaded the entrance to the daycare and were shouting slogans. Some were holding toys like weapons, while others waved around diapers.
We approached cautiously, trying not to provoke more aggression. I attempted to start a conversation with the head babysitter, who seemed to be leading the revolt. She was elderly and stern, but determination shone in her eyes.
She responded that the babysitters were demanding better working conditions and higher wages. They felt undervalued and overworked. This was a full-blown babysitter revolution.
We realized the situation was serious and a peaceful solution was necessary. We suggested forming a committee to address the babysitters' issues and promised to relay their demands to the city authorities. But to do this, they needed to end the revolt and vacate the daycare.
The head babysitter thought it over and agreed. She believed we genuinely wanted to help. We arranged a meeting with the mayor and representatives from the education department to discuss the babysitters' demands.
At the meeting, the babysitters were able to voice their concerns and complaints. The mayor listened attentively and promised to take steps to improve their working conditions. It was decided to increase their salaries, improve their work schedules, and provide additional resources to aid them in their tough job.
After these negotiations, the babysitters calmed down and returned to their duties. The daycare reopened, and the children happily welcomed their babysitters back. Labrador and I were pleased that we could prevent the conflict from escalating and find a solution that satisfied everyone.
That day showed us how important it is to listen to people and help solve their problems. Even peaceful professions like babysitters can revolt if they are not heard. We learned to appreciate their work even more.
Yes, Labrador, it was an important lesson for all of us. We're glad we could help the babysitters and restore order in our town.
One morning, Dobie and I were at our station when we suddenly received a strange and unusual call. The message stated that a volcano had erupted in the city center, spewing money. We couldn't believe our ears, but we decided to head to the scene and figure out what was happening.
When we arrived, we saw an incredible sight. In place of the old fountain, there was now a real volcano, spewing money instead of lava. Bills, coins, gold bars. A crowd of people had gathered around, trying to catch as much money as possible, and chaos ensued.
Dobie and I realized the situation was getting out of control. People were pushing, arguing, and even fighting over the money. We had to intervene quickly to prevent a disaster. I took out a megaphone and started calming the crowd, urging everyone to move to a safe distance and avoid creating a stampede.
Meanwhile, I tried to figure out where this strange volcano came from. We noticed a scientist in a white lab coat nearby, observing the scene intently. I approached him and asked what was going on.
The scientist introduced himself as Dr. Finch and explained that he was conducting an experiment to create a source of infinite wealth. He didn't expect the experiment to get out of control and lead to a money volcano eruption. He was extremely worried and ready to help us solve the problem.
Dr. Finch and I quickly devised a plan to shut down the volcano. He explained the steps we needed to take to safely stop the eruption. While Labrador continued to manage the crowd, Dr. Finch and I worked on deactivating the machine that powered the volcano.
The work was complex and required precision, but we managed it. When the last safety switch was turned off, the eruption stopped, and the volcano began to quiet down. People calmed down, and we were able to restore order.
Dr. Finch thanked us for our help and promised not to conduct any more experiments without proper safety measures. Labrador and I were pleased that we could prevent a disaster and bring order back to the city.
We completed the mode. See you next time. Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we will be escaping from the evil pot-bellied grandpa.
Yes, hello everyone, Sheriff Labrador. We better keep it down in case he wakes up and whacks us with his cane.
Stupid Dobby, you're yelling louder than me. Look, here's my photo. I'm afraid to think what he did with it.
What are you thinking, Labrador? I think he just printed it out to remember your face. Let's go before dinner time comes and he wakes up.
Let's just jump on his belly instead. You're scared of Dobby again. What can he do to us? His eyes even look in different directions.
Oh no, Labrador, I think we woke him up. Run!
It's okay, Dobby. That old poker is running at a snail's pace. But you'd better hurry up. You're too close to him. Don't fall behind.
I feel uneasy. My tail senses someone about to bite me from behind. The main thing is not to look back.
You're right, but we're almost there. I don't even know why that old man has so many dentures, and why doesn't he clean up the floor? It seems like he's tired of chasing us. Look at these strange photos. Why hang something like this on the wall?
We did it, Sheriff Labrador. Maybe he really loves to look at himself. Although, judging by everything, he hardly ever gets off the couch.
Look! What are those giant boogers on the fork? It doesn't look like broccoli. I hope he didn't bite into them. And there are no teeth of his fallen out inside.
If I'm honest, I adore broccoli. They taste like mushrooms mixed with sea kale. Write in the comments if you like broccoli.
What are you talking about, Dobby? Everyone hates broccoli. Let them rather write what they love to eat the most.
Everyone has different food preferences. If someone likes something that you don't, it doesn't mean that person is strange.
What? Did you see that? Why did I die? I didn't even touch him. Stupid developers. Let's just finish this. Let's calmly walk through these chattering broccoli. See the face of that old man ahead? Just go to him and don't look back.
See that guy? Why is he walking backwards? He's just distracting us. Phew, I stopped just in time. Spinach almost hit me in the muzzle.
I thought he was really just standing there waiting for us to pass these trials. Turns out he's so crazy he built his own giant iron copy and embedded it in the wall. But even your mom's bigger than him. Ha ha ha.
Watch out not to fall into the lava, Labrador, or you'll roast your sheriff outfit. They won't clean it off like last time when a seagull pooped on you. You tripped over a stone and fell into the city fountain. Ha ha ha.
Why are you speak off the cuff, Dobby? Maybe I should remind you of when you slipped on a piece of pizza and crashed into a lamppost. We had to pay for its repair too.
Very funny. But let's not get distracted, or you'll fall again. Let's ask the guys if they would like to see a video on our channel where we both play The Floor is Lava in Roblox. Write in the comments.
Why are you standing there, you goofball? I've already passed. Let's go further. Ahead of us awaits a conveyor belt with giant falling vegetables. Watch your head.
Once again, we are next to broccoli. Maybe you'll take a bite while you're next to it. I think you'll like it.
Where did you get lost there? Eating your broccoli again? We're in a hurry. Ahead of us is the room where we were at the very beginning, only now we're on top. I knew we just had to climb up to escape from him.
Sorry, they were very tempting. I couldn't resist. Look down. What's that pink stuff all over the floor? Maybe it's gum or jelly?
So, I'm Labrador, and my faithful partner is Dobby, the sheriffs of this wonderful city where something happens every day. But this day was truly special. It all started with rumors of strange experiments conducted in our city by a mad scientist. Everyone was tense, but no one expected that these experiments would lead to such a nightmare. This scientist, lost in the realms of science and madness, decided to experiment on jelly. Yes, you heard it right. On that sticky delicacy that each of us loves. He tried to improve it, making it more elastic. But alas, everything didn't go as planned. In one horrifying moment, there was an explosion that threw the scientist several meters back, and the jelly began to grow at an incredible speed. It covered everything in its path, threatening to flood our city. People ran in terror, screaming and praying for salvation. But I, Labrador, the sheriff of this city, couldn't allow this dreadful jelly to destroy everything we had built for so long. And I knew that my faithful friend Dobby was always by my side, ready to help. We moved forward. Our mission was clear: to stop this jelly at any cost. We swam through this sticky madness, my nose literally getting sucked into it, but we didn't give up. With my unmatched intellect and Dobby's nose, we found what fueled this jelly. Some strange reagent left by the scientist in his madness. We destroyed it, and the jelly began to melt, like falling snow. The city was saved. People came out on the streets again, and Dobby and I were proclaimed heroes of the day. But for us, the real reward was that we saved our beloved city from ruin. Thus ended our most incredible day, full of adventures and dangers. And, although no one will know about it firsthand, we know that we, Labrador and Dobby, the dynamic duo of canine justice, saved the world.
Amazing story, Labrador. Thanks for reminding us of it. But why did you bring a board with you? You can't slide down on it like on a sled.
I brought it for you, Dobby, in case you want to protect your pants.
Ha 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 ha! Very funny. Then let's talk about how you tore your pants when you climbed a tree to rescue a cat. The strangest thing was that the tear was in a very unexpected place. I hope the cat didn't get psychological trauma from what she saw there. Ha ha!
Let's not think about that right now. We're about to reach our main goal, to defeat that cheeky, pot-bellied old man.
Okay, Sheriff Labrador, let's focus on that. The main thing is not to repeat what happened a few minutes ago. Don't fall into the lava, ha ha! Look ahead, there are sod boards. Let me go first. I'm not as fat as you, so they won't break under me.
Look, Dobby, in the distance you can see that old man's lure, a golden prune. Strange choice. Why did he spend a lot of money on a dried fruit statue? Maybe it's because that old man himself looks like a dried fruit.
Why did that guy fall apart? He couldn't handle the upcoming challenge mentally. But I hope we'll succeed, Sheriff Labrador.
Dobby, let's finally finish this. Grab that prune and run. That way, we'll distract him with you, and I'll shoot at him with the bazooka.
Oh no, Labrador! It looks like he's hunting you instead of me. I'll try to distract him somehow.
Don't worry, he's very slow. Just make sure to dodge his big red laser. I don't want to find out how painful that is. It would be nice to have a bazooka like that. It would come in handy for major arrests. It even shoots backwards.
We're almost there. Let's push harder. I wonder how long it took him to make that giant suit and how he got inside it.
Yes, we did it. Great job. The world is saved from the crazy old man. We should celebrate, Dobby.
Hooray! Why did he just sink into the ground? Now that we're done, let me tell everyone an interesting story about how we saved the city from a virus epidemic. It all started on an ordinary morning. I went on duty with my partner, Sheriff Labrador. We noticed a sudden increase in the number of sick animals in the city. They were all complaining of weakness and fever, but no one could understand what was happening. We knew we had to act quickly, or the whole city could fall ill. I called our old friend Professor Ben, who worked in a secret laboratory outside the city. Ben had always been at the forefront of science and technology, and if anyone could help, it was him. "Hi, Dobby," said the professor. "It seems I have something that might help you. We've recently developed special visor glasses that allow you to see viruses in the environment." Labrador and I immediately went to Ben and received these amazing glasses. Putting them on, we saw our city in a completely new light. Viruses were everywhere, in the air, on surfaces, even on people and animals. "We need to find the source of the infection," said Labrador. His tail wagging with excitement, we began surveying the city, looking for clusters of viruses. The visor glasses showed that one of the abandoned houses was teeming with viruses. We cautiously entered and discovered an old laboratory where someone had apparently been conducting dangerous experiments. On a table, we found records indicating that someone had deliberately released the virus into the city. It was unthinkable. We gathered all the evidence and returned to the city to warn everyone and start cleaning the infected areas. "We need to isolate the infected and disinfect everything they might have touched," I ordered, and Labrador set out to coordinate the actions of the residents. Together with Professor Ben, we set up purification stations throughout the city. The residents, realizing the seriousness of the situation, began to help us. Labrador and I patrolled the streets, ensuring that everyone was safe. After several days of hard work, we finally managed to get the epidemic under control. The viruses disappeared, and our city became healthy and safe again. "You did a great job, Dobby," said Professor Ben, patting me on the shoulder. "Without you and Labrador, we couldn't have handled it so quickly." "It's our job," I replied modestly, looking at our beautiful city. "We're always here to protect those we care about. So, with the help of new technologies and a team of friends, we were able to save our city from an invisible threat. The visor glasses became a symbol of our victory over the epidemic, reminding everyone that even ordinary law enforcers can do great things.
Great story, Dobby, but it's time to say goodbye. We still have to save the world in real life. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. If you want us to play the scariest map in Roblox, leave a comment. Goodbye, everyone.
Hello, everybody. This is Dobie, but I'm not alone.
I'm here too. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to escape from the running head.
But it's not that simple because we have a lot of difficult challenges ahead.
Yeah, that's right, Dobie. But since we're sheriffs, no challenges can scare us.
Look, we've encountered the first running head, but it's very slow, so we can ignore it.
But we shouldn't lose our vigilance because there are probably a lot of traps here.
This maze is very simple. There's not even a ceiling, so we can peek to see how to get to the end.
Great, they won't catch us behind this barrier.
I want to see how smart they are.
That was a bit risky, but I also love taking risks. It's a big part of our job, after all.
Yes, but the key is to always think through your actions in advance and have a backup plan in case things go wrong.
Listen, they're getting really close to us. We need to watch our tails.
They walk so weirdly, and now they're stuck together. It looks like they're kissing.
I agree. I can't even imagine how they walk without legs.
Look, there's this gigantic one blocking our path to the finish. Let's find a way around it.
Oh, I see. It looks like it was a test of attention. We went through similar tests when we became sheriffs.
There are 3 heads in a narrow passage here. We'll need to use some parkour skills.
Oh no, they're kissing again? Let's turn away so they don't distract us. Maybe they're doing it on purpose to make us stumble.
Oh, he looks like that giant one, but luckily he's very slow and not very bright. We can easily outsmart him.
I think we're nearing the end of the first stage. Most likely, it's just beyond... Oh, there was a little trap here. That's exactly what happens when you lose focus. But since we're not on a mission, it's not a big deal. Always play for fun, guys.
Well, you were right. This stairs led to the portal to the next stage.
We continue. It seems we've entered some wooden house. There are 2 doors here. Let's go left.
Oh, he's standing with his back to us. Although it doesn't have a back, so I guess it's facing away with its nape.
Here we need to slip through very quickly because he's distracted by another hole in the wall.
Listen, I don't even know. Oh, I meant to say that I don't know where we need to go. Why did he stand unpredictably around the corner?
I think it's deliberately done by the author to scare us. As for where we're going, I'm not sure myself. Since the monitor can't emit smells, we can't find the exit using our dog instincts, so we're going blindly. But the main thing is not to turn around to avoid going back to the starting point.
Great! We've reached the checkpoint, which means we're halfway through the maze. Usually, checkpoints aren't placed just for fun, so there might be danger ahead of us.
Oops! Let's quickly crawl into the gap before this head regains consciousness.
Another checkpoint. Great! Seems like it's a new element of the challenge. We need to veer off the path in time before this head catches us right in its mouth.
Oh my god, we got a bit distracted and missed the turn. Well, no big deal. We understood the gist, and we'll quickly get back to the same spot.
Remember, Lab, how we spent nights playing horror games as kids?
Of course. Those evenings with popcorn and an old computer. We cursed that eerie monastery 100 times.
I wonder how that has influenced our work now.
I think it taught us not to panic in dark corners. Remember when we first encountered that strange case in the abandoned mine?
Yeah, all those sounds and rustling. It felt like something out of an old game back then, too.
But thanks to our childhood fascination, we remained composed and figured out the situation. No mystique, just work.
And strangely enough, it still saves us to this day. I'm glad we spent those evenings in forgotten horrors together.
Me too, Dobie. In our world, every day can be like a horror movie, but we're always ready for it.
So, here we are at the 3rd stage of this place. Continuing on. It seems like another maze.
I hope this one will be more interesting and challenging, because the first one was boring, but I understand. It was just preparing us.
On this level, a lot of new mobs have been added. They even scare me a little. Brr, it's creepy.
I agree, but we shouldn't let fear take over, because it's deliberately designed to scare us and prevent us from completing this level. So, let's gather our strength and move forward, ignoring the obstacles.
By the way, speaking of strange creatures, Labrador, do you remember how we saved the town from mutant snakes? Let's tell that story. The day started like any other, but everything changed when reports came in about strange incidents in the town. People were talking about snakes that had once been harmless, but had now evolved, growing arms and legs. They began attacking people and taking over the streets. Labrador and I immediately headed to the scene.
Later, it turned out that all of this was orchestrated by an evil scientist from a neighboring town. He had made a bet with other scientists that he could take over our town and receive a reward from the government for it. When we arrived in the town, we saw real chaos. The mutant snakes were armed and organized, attacking the residents. Our first priority was to rescue people and restore order. We needed to act quickly and develop a plan.
We gathered a team of brave assistants and began a counterattack. Our efforts were focused on ensuring the safety of the people and identifying weaknesses in the snakes' defenses.
Hold on a second, Dobie. We need to pause the story for a bit. We've just completed another stage. Good job!
So, where did I leave off? During one of our operations, we managed to capture one of their leaders, a huge snake with a head in command. He revealed that they planned to take over the town and make it their new home.
With our knowledge and resourcefulness, we devised a plan to stop these mutants. We used special tactics to weaken their defenses and reduce their numbers. The battle was fierce, but thanks to our endurance and friendship, we emerged victorious.
It seems like we're in a more modern house compared to the second stage. Here, it looks like Stone Age heads live, given the stone walls around us.
Oops, we've accidentally reached the starting point again, but no worries. Let's go back and turn in the other direction now.
Oh, these challenges are still very simple. It seems like this place is designed for children rather than sheriffs.
I'm also a bit disappointed by that, but I'm optimistic that a very challenging trial will come soon.
Ouch! That was unfair from the developer. I would have made that jump because I have very good reflexes. Oh well, let's forget about it.
Dobie, what do you think about these heads? Where do you think they came from?
To be honest, I don't even know which universe or game they're from, but I do know for sure that they're very popular on the internet, and they're quite creepy. Perhaps that's why they're popular. Their distinctive feature of having a face painted with white makeup and poorly applied lipstick.
Did you see that head around the corner? We almost ran into it. Once again, good reflexes saved us.
Oh, again! What are they doing there? Maybe they were also trying to jump over something and got stuck there forever?
That's a good theory. Well, we've completed another stage. Let's move on.
I hope it will be more interesting there.
All right, we've spawned in a new location. It seems to be a maze, but not a simple one. A transparent maze. What the heck?
Don't get disappointed so early, Sheriff Labrador. For some reason, you can't see through glass to other glass. I must have forgotten my school physics. But will we also be hindered by women's heads?
I thought those heads reproduced by budding, but it turns out the women were just on another level. Now it makes sense.
These women are prettier than those heads, but they still look ugly.
Oh no, we're stuck. Listen, this glass is really confusing. It seems to create very strange visual effects. Normally, such effects are caused by glasses.
Let's lighten the mood by remembering the funny story about how we rescued a school kid who was fooling around with a fire extinguisher and got stuck in a tree. Recently, Labrador and I had a special day, a tour for school children. We arrived at the school with a fire truck, an ambulance, and a police car to show the kids how our service works. The children were thrilled, especially when they were allowed to climb into the vehicles and try out being rescuers.
Everything was going smoothly until we noticed one of the students, a little rascal named Tim, quietly sneaking over to the fire truck and stealing a fire extinguisher. We thought he just wanted to play, but suddenly we heard screams. It turned out that Tim had activated the fire extinguisher and ended up in a tree, covered in foam.
I sense something's off here. We need to check carefully. The situation was critical. Tim was hanging from a branch, tightly gripping the fire extinguisher, and looked terrified. I immediately ran to the tree while Labrador coordinated the children to keep them away.
While Dobie climbed the tree, I calmed the children and explained that Tim would be safe. Thanks to his agility, Dobie quickly reached Tim. He spoke to him in a calm voice, convincing the boy to let go of the fire extinguisher and hold onto the branch.
This is a very strange challenge. Some heads are falling, while others aren't. When I reached Tim, he was on the verge of tears. I gently took his hand and helped him down. Tim was okay, but shaken. We talked to him about the importance of being careful and listening to adults.
Great, we've completed another stage. Moving on to the sixth one. I wonder how many there are in total. After that incident, we continued the tour, but with new safety rules. The children understood that safety is not a game. At the end of the day, everyone thanked us for the exciting lesson and promised to be more careful.
This day showed us that even the most ordinary events can unexpectedly turn into extreme situations. The main thing is that we are always ready to help and protect those who need it.
Hi guys, turns out we're only halfway through this place. Later on, it's gonna get really tough, which we're really happy about. Well, it's time for us to say goodbye. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
Write in the comments if you want to see the second part. See you later.
Hello friends, it's Sheriff Labrador here again with my tireless partner, Sheriff Dobie. Today, we've jumped into a totally crazy mode in Roblox called Shrink or Grow to complete the OBBY. This is going to be a real puzzle challenge. Hit the like button if you love OBBYs and comment below who you think will complete all the levels faster, me or Dobie.
Hey everyone! Oh guys, this isn't just any OBBY. Here, you don't just jump over obstacles, you also have to change sizes at the right time. In some sections, you need to shrink down to the size of an ant to crawl under barriers, while in others, you need to become a giant to leap over massive gaps. It seems like we're going to need all our agility and cleverness to make it through this OBBY.
It all starts with a small level where we learn how to change sizes. There are magic platforms that either shrink us or grow us. And right from the start, it's clear that this won't be easy. You need to time your jumps onto the platforms perfectly to get the right size and avoid falling into the abyss.
The backstory of this mode says that this OBBY was created by a great scientist who accidentally mixed magic potions and created a world where size doesn't matter. His lab was filled with experiments, and eventually the entire world turned into a maze with changing scales. Now we have to navigate through his creation to find a way out.
But be careful, friends. The mode is full of traps, disappearing platforms, moving blocks, and even spikes that pop up out of nowhere. And the hardest part is choosing the right size at the right time so you don't get stuck or fall. Imagine, you need to shrink to slip under a laser and then instantly grow to avoid falling from high platforms.
There are even sections where you have to switch sizes mid-air. For example, shrinking to slip through a narrow passage, then quickly growing to leap over a giant gap. It's like an acrobatic show, but with elements of magic and awesome OBBY challenges.
We can get help from special power-ups, speed boosts, double jumps, or temporary invisibility to get through the toughest sections. But you still have to find those power-ups, and they might be hidden in the most unexpected places, like under a platform that you can only see when you're mini-sized.
And of course, at the end of each level, there's a big final jump that you can only make if you choose the right sizes in the correct sequence. It's like a true test of speed, reaction, and logic. Guys, let us know in the comments which size you prefer, tiny or gigantic. And Dobie and I are setting off on our journey through this incredible OBBY. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our new adventures and escapes.
In some sections, you don't even need to grow larger. I just returned to my original size and easily got through it. Dobie, do you see this beautiful staircase we're walking on? It's painted in rainbow colors. Wow, it looks amazing.
Sheriff, look back. With each step you take, the staircase disappears. You're lucky you're moving fast enough to get through it. The best move here would be to grow bigger and start running as fast as possible, just like Sonic.
Oh, we've hit another staircase with waves. Let's grow larger here too and try to just jump over it. Guys, watch and remember these hacks. These Roblox modes really test your cleverness, and Dobie and I are super resourceful. We always find solutions to any tough challenges, right, Dobie?
That's right. Wow, this looks like a real water slide, just like in a water park, but without the water. By the way, I've often responded to calls at water parks. It's a place where anyone can easily get injured. We're not medics, of course, but we have to figure out how they got hurt. Who knows? There might be evil scientists or wizards at the water park. We're always on guard, keeping order.
Hey, have you noticed that with each level, the OBBY gets harder and harder? The traps activate faster, the platforms disappear quicker, and the gaps between them get wider. It's like the scientists set everything up specifically to confuse us. But we're not that easy to fool, right, Dobie?
Of course, we're real sheriffs. The key is to choose the right moments to change sizes. Labrador, it seems like something changes every time in this OBBY. I see some new paths that weren't there before. That means the further we go, the tougher it gets. But we're not giving up. The main thing is to keep our balance and remember to change sizes at the right time.
Dobie, did you see what happened to the town square? At first, I thought I was having vision problems or maybe I was just too tired. Imagine this. I'm walking downtown in the morning, And suddenly I see the statue in the square has grown to the size of a house. And just a little further, right across from the cafe, there's a tiny car, barely bigger than a toy. I couldn't believe my eyes. Was this really happening? Only later did I find out that it was all the work of an evil scientist. He invented a device that can enlarge or shrink anything.
Labrador, I was shocked too. When I saw that giant thing in the square, I thought it was some elaborate prank or a movie being filmed. But then, when I saw a giant mailbox fall right in the middle of the street, scaring all the passers-by, I realized something was really wrong. And the scariest part is that this scientist, Dr. Shrank, decided he could use his invention to establish a new order in the town. He enlarged everything he considered important and shrank everything else, as if he had the right to decide what the town needed and what it didn't.
Yeah, Shrank definitely got carried away with his device. He figured that if he made his invention known to the world, he could dictate terms, and the town would become his personal playground. At first, everything looked chaotic. Giant objects blocked the streets, tiny buildings got lost among huge bushes and benches, but when he enlarged the town hall tower so much that it blocked out the entire sky, that's when it became a real problem. We knew we had to do something fast, but it wasn't easy. Shrank's device was very powerful and compact. It could be anywhere.
Labrador, do you remember how we started searching for Shrank? We decided he must be hiding nearby to keep an eye on the results of his actions. We split up to search the area, and I found one of his hidden labs on the outskirts of town. It was full of all sorts of strange gadgets, and I almost stepped on one of his miniature robots that was patrolling the entrance. At first I thought it was just a toy, but then the robot started making alarm sounds, and I had to act fast to avoid causing a scene.
You did a great job, Dobie! While you were checking out the lab, I stumbled upon Shrank himself. He was busy checking the results of his latest experiment. He had shrunk the fountain in the park down to the size of a cup and was laughing like a madman. I decided to play it smart and started distracting him with conversation. I told him his invention was really impressive, but hinted that without his device, the town couldn't function normally. You should have seen his face. Shrank was beaming with pride. But as soon as I noticed that the device was on his belt, I knew this was our chance.
Labrador, you're a master at distraction. While you were talking to him, I managed to get closer and start deactivating his security systems. Those devices were set up to interfere with any attempt to get close to the main gadget. But luckily, I managed to bypass them using that miniature robot I had grabbed from his lab. And as soon as Shrank got distracted by your comment about the impact of his invention on the town, I made a dash and grabbed the device.
Yes, we defeated him there, but there was another situation related to this mode. It all started like an ordinary day. We were doing our usual patrol of the area when we suddenly noticed strange, shiny blocks appearing in the square, resembling those from computer games. I thought it was some new art installation or maybe an advertising stunt. But when I got closer and saw that the blocks looked like they were made of magical gold, I started to worry. Then we discovered that these were actual lucky blocks created by an evil wizard.
Labrador, it was incredible. At first, I thought you were joking when you said the blocks might be real. But as soon as I saw them up close, I realized they weren't just decorations. They had some kind of magical aura. As soon as we started investigating these blocks, something unexpected happened. One of them began to glow and emit strange sounds. We were lucky to be attentive. As soon as I touched one of the blocks, it opened up and a bunch of colorful sparks flew out. These sparks filled the air, and I knew we were in trouble.
Yes, and that was just the beginning. When we opened a few more blocks, it became clear that they weren't just decorative. Each block was somehow linked to the wizard's magic. One of them released actual fire elementals that immediately began wreaking havoc in our park. Another block triggered a snowstorm right in the middle of summer. We quickly realized that we needed to find a way to stop this magic and figure out how it all connected to the wizard.
Exactly. And you know what was the hardest part? Not just the blocks themselves, but the fact that they started attracting people's attention. Everyone began to gather around, and panic ensued. We tried to explain to people that these weren't just amusing toys, but a serious threat. Fortunately, we had a little time to figure out how to handle the situation. We decided we needed to find the wizard himself and figure out how to stop all these anomalies. But, as it turned out, he was aware of our interference.
Yes, the wizard was very clever. We started deciphering the note and realized that the wizard had left clues on how to neutralize the magic of the blocks. It turned out that each block was connected to a specific element: fire, water, earth, and air. To stop them, we needed to find special amulets that the wizard had hidden in various locations around the city. We managed to find all the amulets and stop the magic of the lucky blocks, and everything ended well. Thanks for watching and listening to this video, everyone. Goodbye for now.
I found 2 amulets, and Labrador found the other 2. It will be interesting to see what happens next. Stay tuned for the next video. Goodbye for now.
Hello, everybody. Sheriff Labrador and Dobie here.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. As you may have guessed, today we are escaping from Mr. Smiley's daycare. Let's get started.
It's hard not to notice all these neon arrows leading to the ventilation. By the way, didn't you find it strange that he was just standing there staring at us?
I think all these facts point to Mr. Smiley conducting experiments on us, or he's playing with us like we're lab rats.
You must be right, and he's just crazy. I think he'll be watching us through surveillance cameras throughout all the trials. Brr!
I agree, it's creepy, but we're sheriffs. We won't be scared by that.
Meanwhile, we're parkouring over pipes in the sewers. Did we fall into a manhole?
I don't remember that either. I think we entered through the ventilation, not a manhole. Everything in this daycare is so strange.
Well, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that I'm the best parkourist in our town, and we'll get through this challenge quickly.
Let's think about how we got here. We're not kids, after all.
It seems like there are 2 possibilities here. Either he's grabbing everyone and tossing them in a cell regardless of age, or he's a bit blind and didn't notice we're not kids.
It seems to me like he knew we were sheriffs and wanted to see if professionals could pass all his challenges.
That's also a great theory, but we still have to figure all of this out.
Oh, look, there's a big fan on the floor here. It blows so hard that we're being lifted up.
But we need to be careful and watch out for the laser to protect our heads.
Great job. We've reached the next obstacle. I see a grill ahead. It looks like we need to press these buttons to open it.
I hope we don't have to press them simultaneously.
Let's check it now. We just need to jump over this rotating platform.
We've been walking through this sewer for a long time. I have a question. Why is it so gigantic, and where does all this acidic water come from?
Great! There's just one button left. I don't understand why they made such a huge sewer, but I think the acid is what powers all these mechanisms and engines in these trials.
I remembered an interesting story about how we saved our city from an acid flood, but I'll tell it in a couple of minutes. So watch the video to the end, guys.
Great, the gates are open. Let's go.
Hold on, we need to pass one more rotating platform.
I know we can do it. This was a very simple challenge.
I'm still bothered by the fact that the sewer is connected to the ventilation. The whole daycare must smell awful.
It seems like it's depicted here that children love us and pull us towards the ground. What could this mean? And who leaves these drawings?
Wow, look, he's right in front of us. Why isn't he paying attention to us? I don't think he can't hear us.
I think he's deliberately ignoring us to attack when we least expect it.
Oh, you were right, but now we need to make a run for it.
He's very close. Ow! Oh no, what's happening? Where is he taking us?
If I'm honest, I didn't understand his intentions. Maybe he wanted to take us back to the cell but accidentally swallowed us.
It seems to me that those crawling kids distracted us. We need to check on this right now.
It looks like both Mr. Smiley and the kids are interested in us. They seem to be in it together. Perhaps he feeds them a special blend.
Great, it seems like we've confused him a bit and he's stuck. It's a good moment to make our escape.
It seems we need to jump into this hole. Goodbye, Mr. Smiley.
Hey, just don't crash on the way down.
Nice job, Dobie. We landed next to the ball pit. Let's keep going.
I already have an idea of what we need to do in this challenge. One pipe should be enough for us.
While we're going through this challenge, let's tell the guys the promised story.
With pleasure, I will tell this story. This day started off as usual, but soon we began receiving alarming reports from the townspeople. Water coming out of their taps was unusual, starting to acidify and even change color. Labrador and I were immediately dispatched to investigate this strange situation.
Arriving on scene, we inspected several homes and saw that the situation was indeed serious. Water flowing from the taps was not only acidic, but also of various colors, from green to purple. This immediately put us on alert because such a thing couldn't be a coincidence.
We began our investigation and soon discovered that the problem stemmed from an error by one of the sewer workers who had mistakenly connected the pipes beneath the laboratory. Waste from the lab, containing acidic substances, had started to flow into the city's water systems.
We realized that if we didn't stop this flow of acid, the city could be in danger. We urgently called in specialists to help us regain control of the situation and prevent further contamination of the water.
Through our combined efforts with our team, we set up temporary barriers and started pumping out the contaminated water from the system. While engineers worked to fix the errors, we ensured the safety of residents and coordinated the evacuation of those in particularly hazardous areas.
Wow, look, while we were telling the story, we reached the boss battle. The sign said we need to knock Mr. Smiley down. But how do we do that?
Let's get this sorted out. I noticed there are small children on his platform. I'm sure they'll be in our way.
Let's observe what he's going to do.
I think it's better to run before he jumps on us.
Oh, let's retreat.
2. We need to be more careful. Just like the sewer worker under the laboratory from our story.
I agree. He should have been more careful when he was fixing the pipes. But the main thing is that everything turned out fine, and this incident showed us how important it is to be vigilant and prepared to help, regardless of the job.
Oh no! Did you see how that kid sneakily grabbed our legs and wouldn't let go? Where does he get all that strength from? And he pulled us down too. But now we know we need to steer clear of those kids.
I got it. We need to lure him and wait until he starts attacking, then step aside at the right moment so he falls into the lava.
Ha ha ha! Why do these kids fly so amusingly into the stratosphere?
Why is he so close to the edge but not falling? Maybe we need to wait a bit longer or step back a bit later.
Try to step back as quickly as possible so he doesn't have time to react.
And also, we need to stand closer to the edge of this platform.
Oh no! One kid did manage to grab onto us after all. How did that happen? There were so few of them left here.
Yay! We dodged it! That's what you get, Mr. Smiley. I hope we don't encounter him again, and he won't hinder our escape from here.
Let's continue our escape. The main thing is not to fall now. That would be really frustrating, especially if we had to start the battle all over again.
Looks like we need to take the elevator. There are so many floors. It seems like this isn't a daycare, but an entire complex.
Wow! Just look at how enormous these rooms are. I can't believe all this was made by Mr. Smiley just to amuse himself by watching us go through these trials and fall into traps.
Oops. Yeah, this is all very strange and mystical. I wish the author had added some notes so we could better understand the plot. Damn. Here we go again with these rotating platforms, and there are 10 times more of them.
And I also see a bunch of swinging maces ahead. There must be 10 times more of them than in one of the previous trials. Why are we being tortured now if we defeated Mr. Smiley and there's no one left to watch us? Or maybe those little crawling kids are actually adult souls trapped in children's bodies. Brr.
And it's like the kids actually organized all of this, and Mr. Smiley was just a tool in their hands. That's truly creepy, Dobby, but I think we're overthinking it. This daycare couldn't have such a well-thought-out and captivating plot. We should save this idea and create a game like this. Guys, would you play a game created by Sheriff Labrador and Dobby?
Hey, that sounds like a great idea. Now we just need to learn how to create games. Speaking of games, since we're on the topic, let's tell the guys the story about how we saved our residents' computers from a massive virus outbreak.
Of course. Don't worry, there won't be any viruses in our game. It just happens to be a coincidence. This day seemed ordinary until we started receiving anxious calls from the town residents. Everyone was talking about strange updates on their computers that couldn't be postponed. Immediately after installing the updates, their screens were flooded with pop-ups, and some computers demanded ransom to unlock. Someone was so scared that they even threw their computer in the trash. Dobby and I realized this was serious and required immediate action.
Our first step was to determine the source of the problem. We found out that the operating system update came from one of the largest software companies. We went there to conduct our investigation.
At the company, we discovered that none of the employees were aware of what was happening. However, after carefully examining the security logs, we found out that a new employee had recently joined the company. This employee had been planning their sinister plan for years, writing the virus in advance and figuring out how to embed it into the update. He wrote it down on a flash drive and once he was hired, put his plan into action.
Realizing the need for swift action, we turned to the city's best programmers. Together, we started working on removing the virus and restoring the systems. We had to immerse ourselves in cybersecurity to understand how to combat this evil.
The process was complex and demanding. We had to develop special programs to remove the virus and recover data on infected computers. Programmers worked day and night, while we ensured coordination and support.
Thanks to our combined efforts and perseverance, we managed to create a program that eliminated the virus and restored the systems of the town's residents. We spread it through local media and social networks so everyone could download and install this fix.
Hooray! Dobby, we've escaped from that daycare. That means it's time for us to say goodbye. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Leave a like and be sure to tell us what else we should play. Maybe Poppy playtime?
See you later. Greetings, friends. I'm Sheriff Dobie, and today, along with my loyal partner, Sheriff Labrador, we are diving into an incredible adventure in Roblox in the OBBY prison escape mode. Hello, Labrador. Hello, Dobie. Hello to all our viewers. Today, we have a challenging task: to escape from an underwater prison where the floor is made of water. It seems we've been framed and ended up here because of the merfolk. But no worries, we will find a way out. Yes, Labrador, that's right. This mode is a real test. Imagine a huge prison located underwater. Instead of the usual corridors and cells, there are massive aquariums filled with water where you have to swim to move around. Each cell has puzzles that need to be solved to progress further. Exactly, Dobie. And there are dangerous sea creatures here that will try to stop us. We will need to avoid sharks, electric eels, and even giant jellyfish. But the most difficult part is finding the keys hidden in various corners of this underwater prison. Precisely. So, our task is to find these keys, solve all the puzzles, and of course, uncover the mystery of who framed us and why. I'm sure we can handle this together.
And we need to stay alert because the merfolk might set traps for us. We must be cautious and always keep our ears pricked.
Absolutely right. So, are you ready for the adventure? Let's get started. Good luck to everyone. And don't forget to support us with likes and comments. We'll start with the first level, finding a way out of the cell. Oh, it seems we've already gotten out of the cell and into some strange place.
We're about to embark on a truly exciting adventure. One day, Dobie and I thought, what if we built a super rocket and traveled to all the worlds? We pooled all our knowledge, skills, and a bit of ingenuity to create this amazing machine. And now, the rocket is ready. Dobie, are you ready for launch?
Of course, Labrador. So, our super rocket, named World Voyager, is on the launch pad. We carefully designed it to withstand any conditions and take us to the farthest corners of the universe. Labrador, did you complete the final technical inspection?
Yes, Dobie, all systems are working perfectly. I checked the engines, fuel tanks, and navigation systems. We're ready for launch. All aboard, friends. Our first journey begins right now. Launch.
3, 2, 1, lift off! The rocket smoothly ascends. We pass through the atmosphere, and here we are, in open space. An incredible sight, right, Labrador?
Yes, Dobie, it's amazing. Our first destination is the moon, as it's the closest world to us. Within a few minutes, we've landed on the lunar surface. Everything is covered in dust, and traces of previous expeditions are visible. But what's this? Someone is coming towards us.
It's the moon inhabitants. They're friendly and have invited us to their market, where they sell unusual souvenirs and items made from moon rocks. We exchanged gifts and learned a lot about their culture, but it's time to move on. Where to next, Labrador?
Dobie, how about Mars? They say there are hidden cities there. We take off again and head to the Red Planet. After a soft landing, we see amazing Martian cities built under domes. These domes protect the inhabitants from the harsh conditions of Mars.
We met a Martian engineer who showed us his inventions. It turns out the Martians are developing systems to process Martian soil into useful materials. We took some ideas into account and set off again.
Our next stop was Titan, Saturn's moon. Everything here was covered with icy lakes and mountains. We put on special suits and went to explore the subglacial caves. In one of the caves, we met the Titanians, intelligent beings living under the ice and feeding on Saturn's energy.
The Titanians turned out to be excellent storytellers. They told us legends about their ancestors and showed us ancient manuscripts carved on ice tablets. We were impressed by their culture and peaceful way of life. Time flew by, and it was time for a new journey.
How about Venus? They say colonies living in the clouds have been recently discovered there. We took off and headed to this mysterious planet. Venus greeted us with a dense atmosphere, but we successfully made our way through it and saw giant floating cities in the clouds.
These cities were built on huge cloud platforms, and the Venusians turned out to be incredibly hospitable. They showed us their technology, which allows them to extract energy from cloud vortices and create artificial rainforests. We spent several days enjoying their hospitality and studying their achievements.
And now it's time for the farthest journey. We set course for Proxima Centauri, the closest star to us. This journey took several weeks, but thanks to our super rocket, we arrived safely. On one of the planets, we discovered an amazing world inhabited by cybernetic beings.
These beings lived in harmony with nature and technology. They showed us their advancements in artificial intelligence and nanotechnology. We were amazed at how they managed to create a perfect balance between life and technology. And so, finally, our journey came to an end.
We returned home, full of impressions and knowledge. It was an incredible adventure, and we're glad you friends were with us all this time. Our super rocket performed excellently, and we will definitely continue to explore new worlds in the future.
Thank you for being with us, friends. We learned a lot, saw incredible places, and met amazing beings. We hope you enjoyed our story.
I will tell you an amazing story that happened to us a week ago. There were so many incidents and calls in our town that Dobie and I just couldn't be everywhere at once. So we decided to take extreme measures and clone ourselves. Dobie, are you ready to tell how it all started?
All right. A week ago, Labrador and I turned to our old friend, Professor Tesla, who specializes in biotechnology. We explained our problem to him, and he suggested creating our clones. We knew it was risky, but we had no other choice.
Professor Tesla developed a special machine that could create exact copies of us with the same skills and knowledge. He assured us that the clones would act and think just like us. After a few hours of work, our clones were ready. We named them Dobie 2 and Labrador 2. The robbery was orchestrated by a gang known as the Dark Shadows. They were professionals, and it would have been tough for us to handle them. But our clones rose to the occasion. They infiltrated the bank through the ventilation system and managed to neutralize the robbers using their hand-to-hand combat skills and strategic thinking.
Meanwhile, Labrador and I received another call, a fire at a factory. We rushed there to help the firefighters. There were many people in the factory, and they needed to be evacuated urgently. Working together with the firefighters, we managed to save all the workers and prevent the fire from spreading to neighboring buildings.
During this time, Dobie 2 and Labrador 2 received a call about a hostage situation at a school. There were armed criminals on the scene, and the situation was very tense. Our clones started negotiating with the criminals while simultaneously devising a plan to rescue the hostages.
Using cleverness and negotiation skills, the clones managed to distract the criminals and secretly enter the school. They then neutralized the criminals and safely evacuated all the children and teachers. It was an incredibly brave and professional act.
Meanwhile, several more incidents occurred in our town. A jewelry store robbery, street races, and a highway accident. But thanks to our clones, we were able to handle each of them. Dobie 2 and Labrador 2 acted like real heroes, and people started noticing that the sheriffs could be in two places at once.
But not everything went smoothly. A few days later, we noticed that our clones were starting to behave strangely. They became more aggressive and unpredictable. Professor Tesla explained that the clones might begin to develop their own personalities and go out of control.
And then, one evening, our clones caused real chaos in the town. They decided they could become the new rulers of the town and started setting their own rules. We had to step in and stop them.
It was a tough battle. Our clones knew all our tactics and moves, but we used our wits and experience to outsmart them. In the end, we managed to neutralize them and bring them back to Professor Tesla.
The professor apologized for what had happened and destroyed the cloning machine. We realized there are no shortcuts to success and that we have to handle all challenges ourselves, relying on our own strengths and mutual support.
This was an important lesson for us. We understood that despite all the difficulties, true strength lies in our team and our ability to work together. Thank you for being with us, friends. We are always ready to help, and no difficulties will stop us.
A week ago, Sheriff Dobie and I used a teleport to travel to the future and the past. It all started when we received a mysterious device from our friend, Professor Tesla.
Professor Tesla explained that his new invention could move us through time. He gave us the task of testing the teleport and finding out how it could be used for the benefit of our town. We immediately agreed and began our journey.
First, we decided to travel to the past. We set the teleport to 50 years ago and found ourselves in our town when it was completely different. Old buildings, people in retro clothes, and vintage cars. It was all amazing. We met a young Sheriff Jack who became our mentor.
It was an unforgettable adventure, friends. We hope to use the teleport again to make our town safer. Thank you for being with us. Until next time and new adventures.
Hi everyone, it's Sheriff Labrador here again with my partner, Sheriff Dobie. Today we found ourselves in a creepy new Roblox game called Escape Grimace Shake's Prison. Imagine a prison built by the weirdest and craziest character, Grimace Shake. Everything here is made of his favorite shakes. But don't get too excited. These treats are full of traps and dangers. So hit that like button and tell us in the comments which trap would scare you the most. Ready, Dobby?
Hey, friends! Wow, Labrador, this place is seriously creepy. According to the story, Grimace Shake decided that anyone who doesn't love his shakes should end up in his prison. He's locked us up here to prove that his shakes are not just drinks, but real challenges. We need to find the keys to open 3 doors and escape. But Grimace has placed his shakes everywhere, and each one is a new trap. And the most important thing, don't let him catch us, or he'll make us drink these weird shakes until the end of the game.
Yeah, and don't think it's going to be easy. Every room in this prison feels like its own little Grimace world, where everything sways and wobbles like his shakes. The floors are slippery, the walls are moving, and instead of regular doors, there are giant shake glasses that you have to activate to move forward. Sometimes, you'll need to find hidden buttons or use special crystals that give you temporary protection from his traps.
Plus, there are mechanical arms here that try to grab us and pull us back to the cell. Grimace has cameras all over the place, and if you get caught in their view, an alarm goes off and the chase begins. To avoid this, you have to hide behind walls and furniture. But even that can be risky, because some walls suddenly start moving or disappear when you get close.
Legend has it that Grimace used to be just an ordinary shake, but after being ignored at the cafe, he turned into a villain. His goal is to make everyone aware of his mighty shakes and to love them, but his methods are definitely wrong. He uses his prison as a test of endurance and cunning to prove that his shakes deserve attention. But we're not going to give up that easily.
And hey, Labrador, remember that moment when we had to run through the giant mixer room? That was wild. Mixers were spinning, shakes were pouring from the ceiling, and we had to jump from one platform to another to avoid falling into that swirling vortex. And we also had to watch out not to step on falling ice cubes that could knock us back down.
And of course, we can't forget Grimace's signature trick, his giant straws that can pull us in any direction. You have to be really careful when they start moving, because if you don't make it through in time, they'll suck you back into the cell. The keys are hidden in the most unexpected places, like in a giant shake that you have to stir to reach the key at the bottom.
So, friends, support us with your likes and comments, because with your help, we'll definitely escape this shake trap. We have to get through all these rooms, avoid getting caught by Grimace, and find all the keys to finally escape and regain our freedom. Plus, we need to uncover why Grimace became such a villain. Maybe we can help him become good again?
Let's find out together what's really behind Grimace Shake's strange prison. Subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss our new adventures, and tell your friends so they can also learn how to escape this crazy prison. Onward to freedom and new challenges, partner. Ready? Let's get started.
Let's go, Labrador! Let's run as fast as our paws can carry us. See you on the other side, friends. We will definitely get out, especially with such an awesome support team like you.
Dobby, are you sure you understood what they said over the radio? At first I thought it was a joke or some kind of mistake. A call about a living Grimace Shake? That can't be real. I always thought things like that only existed on the internet, in memes and videos. But now we're getting reports that someone saw this purple drink with eyes and arms walking around the park, scaring people. And they're saying it's acting aggressively, throwing trash, hurling stones, and apparently trying to frighten kids. I can't imagine how we're going to deal with this. Have you ever seen anything like it?
Labrador, I couldn't believe my ears either. I initially thought it was just a prank, or someone was trying to mess with us again. But when we got to the scene and saw that living shake wandering through the park, I knew it was serious. It really did look like the Grimace shake from those weird videos, purple with big eyes and a very grumpy expression. When I tried to get closer to calm it down, it almost threw a trash can at me. It's definitely not in the mood for negotiations. Labrador, we've dealt with a lot, but a living drink, this is a whole new level. We need to figure out how to calm it down without hurting anyone.
Yeah, this Grimace shake is definitely not the friendliest character. I was thinking maybe it's just scared or doesn't understand where it is. If it's some kind of creature that ended up here by accident, it must be as frightened as everyone who sees it. We can't just walk up and arrest it like a regular offender. We need to find a way to make contact and understand what it needs. Remember how we calmed down that escaped panda at the zoo? Maybe we should try something similar. Although, of course, food probably won't help. On the other hand, maybe it has a weakness for something specific. We need to figure out what could attract its attention and calm it down.
Labrador, I was thinking the same thing. It seems like this shake reacts to loud noises and sudden movements. Every time someone shouted or made quick gestures, it started acting more aggressively. But when I quietly approached from the other side and just watched, it seemed to calm down. It looks like it doesn't like sudden changes, and maybe it's just trying to protect itself. What if we try playing something soothing? Music or nature sounds? Remember how we played rain sounds for those dogs at the shelter that needed calming down? It might work here too, but there's one problem. It's already climbed to the top of the fountain and is just sitting there, frowning and pelting us with fruit.
Great idea, Dobby. Music really might help. I've got a speaker in the car that connects to my phone. We could play some relaxing music and try to step back a bit so we don't scare it anymore. Let it sit and listen calmly. If it works, we can carefully escort it to a safe place where it won't bother anyone. And while you keep it distracted with music, I'll try to find some information about this creature. Maybe there's something online that will tell us where it came from and how to deal with it. Grimace shake. Who would have thought? Let's give it a try, Dobby, and hopefully it'll calm our purple guest down.
Sounds great, Labrador. I can already picture us playing a soothing tune and this shake slowly calming down. Let's hope it works, and we don't have to chase it all over town. While you get the speaker ready, I'll take a position and try to get bystanders to move away. We need as few people around as possible to avoid unnecessary noise and commotion. Let's stick to the plan, partner. Today we're calming down purple shakes, and who knows what tomorrow will bring. The important thing is to work together and never give up. Let's do this, Labrador.
Perfect, Dobby. We've handled tougher situations before. The main thing now is not to panic and take it easy. I've set up the speaker, started the music, and it seems like Grimace Shake is actually starting to relax a bit. Look, it stopped throwing things. Great job keeping the crowd away, by the way. Now let's slowly move closer, so we don't startle it again. If everything goes according to plan, we'll be able to lead it away from the park and find it a place where it won't be a bother to anyone. You're right, Dobby. We'll handle this because we're a team.
Look, Labrador, the music really seems to be working. It's not as tense anymore, even kind of swaying to the rhythm. We've got this, I'm sure. Let's move slowly, keep our distance, and just wait for it to calm down completely. Maybe, in the end, Grimace Shake is just lost and doesn't know how to behave in this strange world for it. And we're going to help it. Come on, partner, just a little more, and everything will be fine. Our city will be calm and safe again, even if we have to deal with the most unusual creatures. Let's go, Labrador, we've got a job to do.
Dobby, do you remember that old candy store on Biscuit Street? We used to visit it as kids. It was a real paradise for sweet tooths back then. But who would have thought that this store would turn into such a sinister place after all these years? When we got the call about strange noises and movements inside the abandoned store, I thought it was just another kid's prank or someone playing urban legends. But when we went inside, I realized I was wrong. Those shadows, those rustlings, and then you turned into a living candy monster. At first, I couldn't believe my eyes, thought it was another trick. But you were made of lollipops, gummy bears, and marshmallows. How is that even possible, Dobby? I didn't know what to do.
Labrador, I was in shock too. When we entered the store, I immediately felt something was off. There was a strange smell in the air. Sweet, but somehow musty. And then the light. It seemed like the lamps had long burned out, but everything was still glowing with colorful lights, like in old candy machines. I took a step forward to get a better look at one of the displays, and suddenly felt something was wrong. My body started changing, just like in some weird dream. Suddenly my paws became sticky, and my tail turned into a huge caramel stick. I was panicking, trying to say something, but my voice sounded like rustling wrappers. It was a nightmare. I tried to move, but all I did was make candy and gum crunching noises. Labrador, it felt like I was going to be this monster forever. How did you manage to get it together so quickly and figure out what to do?
Your rescue was super easy for me. I just poured water on you and the monster disappeared. Thanks everyone for watching. See you next time. Hello, dear friends. It's me, Sheriff Labrador and Sheriff Dobie. Our parents sent us to Nanny Betty again, but they don't know that she's completely lost her mind. Betty, open the door. Oh no! We found ourselves in a creepy place once again, in the game Escape from Betty's Scary Nursery, Part 2, in Roblox. It seems like Betty has no intention of letting us go easily. Today, we have to find and fix 3 electrical levers to start the generator and escape this grim place. Hit the like button if you're ready for this challenge, and comment who you think Betty will catch first, me or Dobby.
Hi, friends. Today we'll have to work hard to get out of this abandoned kindergarten. According to the story, Betty locked everyone in because she thinks we stole her favorite toy, but in reality, she hid it herself and forgot. Now, she believes everyone is lying and trying to deceive her, so she set traps everywhere and stays close by, always trying to prevent us from escaping. We need to fix 3 levers to activate the main exit. The problem is that the wires are broken all over, and there are puddles of water throughout the kindergarten that conduct electricity.
Oh, these levers could be anywhere. In locked rooms, under broken stairs, or even in old vents. To fix them, we need to find wires and connect them, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Betty constantly roams the corridors, whispers her creepy songs, and tries to scare us. As soon as we start fixing the wires, she shows up, trying to disrupt our work and send us back to the cell.
And the most interesting part is that these levers can change places every time we reload the game. So we always need to be on guard and explore every corner of the kindergarten. Betty thought of everything. The traps are hidden behind old toys and shelves, and some doors only open after you fix the electricity. It's really scary here, especially when the lights turn on in dark rooms and you see the giant eyes of a doll watching you.
This kindergarten used to be an ordinary place. But after Betty took over, everything changed. She found old blueprints and wires and started fixing them in her own way. But instead of bringing back light and comfort, she created a true maze of fears. They say she got these blueprints from a strange man in an old suit who promised to return her favorite toy if she helped him with his dark plans.
On top of everything, there are traces of her past failed repair attempts. Broken robots, sparking wires, and toys that react to any movement. If you accidentally bump into something, you can trigger an alarm, and then Betty will definitely know where we are. And if she catches us, she'll send us right back to our cell, and we'll have to start all over again.
But guys, it's not all bad. There are useful things in the kindergarten too, like door codes, hints from former pupils that can appear on the walls as drawings or notes. And if you manage to do everything right, you can even open Betty's secret room and find what she guards so fiercely. Maybe that will help us finally escape.
Guys, keep your fingers crossed for us. Let's hope we can handle this madness and finally get out of Betty's kindergarten. Don't forget to hit the like button and comment what you think about this mode and which traps you find the hardest. We're off to find the levers and fix everything as quickly as possible. We're sure that with your support, we'll get through all of Betty's traps and prove that no scary kindergarten can frighten us. Onward to freedom.
Dobby, do you remember that strange call we got 2 weeks ago? Who would have thought that someone would call us to an abandoned kindergarten that had been empty and semi-ruined for years? When we drove up there, we immediately got an uneasy feeling. Everything seemed too quiet, and it felt like someone was watching us from the dark windows. And you know, the strangest thing was that there was a chain on the gate, but the wicket was slightly open, as if they were expecting us.
Yeah, Labrador, I remember it like it was yesterday. As soon as we got closer, I felt that eerie chill down my spine. Not a soul around, just the wind rustling old toys on the playground. And inside, in the building, everything looked like it was frozen in time. Half-rotten toys, children's drawings on the walls, and that dusty silence that always fills places long forgotten. But even stranger was the sound coming from inside. Quiet, barely audible, like children's voices. We decided to go inside and check out what was happening, despite all the warnings. Who do you think left that call?
I've been wondering about that ever since, Dobby. Whoever that anonymous caller was, they clearly knew this place would pique our interest. We walked down the corridor, and with every step, the feeling that something was wrong only grew stronger. The walls were covered in strange marks that didn't look like children's drawings. And when we reached the main hall, we saw that old piano in the corner, and a strange doll sitting right on top of it. It looked too new, like someone had just placed it there. We started inspecting the room, and I found that old journal with the caretaker's notes. But the creepiest part was when you picked up the doll. It started playing a melody, and the doors slammed shut behind us.
Labrador, I'll remember that moment for a long time. As soon as the doll started playing the melody, chills ran down my fur. We tried to open the doors, but they seemed stuck to the frames. And from the corners, we started hearing those same children's whispers. We were trapped in that hall, and the sounds grew louder, turning into a real chorus. Then I noticed shadows starting to appear on the walls, like children standing around the perimeter of the room. I thought we'd fallen into some kind of trap, maybe spirits or something like that. But when we found that strange chest under the piano, I realized it might hold the key to everything happening.
Yeah, that chest looked completely out of place there. It was locked and had the same strange symbols as on the walls. It was as if it was all part of some old ritual or game that we were drawn into against our will. We tried to open it for a long time, but couldn't. Then I remembered an old legend told by local elders about something terrible happening in this kindergarten long ago. They spoke of a strange ceremony conducted here, and ever since, the place was cursed. Maybe that chest was what linked the kindergarten to those events.
And you immediately said it was the key to the mystery. We started looking for clues that could help us open the chest. And Labrador, remember how you found that old map under the floorboards? That was a true masterpiece of detective work. We realized that the map marked certain places in the kindergarten that would help us solve the mystery. We went through all those points, and each one revealed another piece of the puzzle. It was like a treasure hunt, but with a supernatural twist. In the end, we found the key, a small copper key hidden behind a painting in one of the corridors.
Opening the chest was an adventure in itself. But as soon as we opened it, everything in the kindergarten started to change. Those shadows on the walls began to fade. The doors swung open and the whispers stopped. Inside the chest was an old book with notes, possibly the diary of one of the caretakers. It described strange events that took place in the kindergarten long before it was closed. It turned out the caretakers were indeed performing some rituals, trying to protect the children from an unknown threat. But something went wrong. It seems like we lifted the curse, freeing the place from dark energy.
Yeah, it felt like we freed the kindergarten from something sinister that had been clinging to it all these years. After we closed the chest and put it back, everything began to return to normal. But you know, Labrador, I can't shake the feeling that someone deliberately left those clues for us and called us there so we could finish what had been started long ago. Maybe it was the spirit of one of the caretakers or one of the children who just wanted peace. But one thing I know for sure, we did the right thing, and now this place can truly be called free.
We finally found all the light generators and turned on the electricity in this creepy kindergarten of Betty. Now, we just need to connect the last 2 electric barrels to power the main doors and finally escape. But as soon as we started running away, Betty got electrocuted, and now she's become super strong Nanny Betty. She's chasing us down the corridors, and we have to navigate through a ton of obstacles to get out of here. Like the video if you're rooting for us, and leave your tips in the comments. We can't do it without you.
What a twist! We thought it was almost over, but Betty found another way to make things harder for us. After she got shocked, she became even stronger and faster. Now she's unstoppable, breaking down walls and jumping over obstacles like a superhero. but a very angry and scary one. And we've got no time to rest. We're racing through the corridors, jumping over scattered toys, and crawling under broken ladders. And Betty is getting closer and closer.
Exactly. As soon as the electricity came on, it seemed like everything was almost settled. But Betty doesn't give up that easily. She's catching up, throwing toys at us that she's using as weapons. And it seems like she's getting stronger with each encounter. These corridors are insane. Trap doors open underfoot, floors rise and fall, and creepy dolls pop out of the walls trying to slow us down.
And here, guys, the main thing is don't stop. Run, Labrador, run, run, run. Run, Labrador.
Oh no! Betty caught us. It's very sad, friends. Now we'll have to live in her kindergarten, but we'll definitely escape from here. According to the legend, Betty was an ordinary nanny until she found this strange amulet. At first, it gave her powers, but over time, it started changing her. Now, after being electrocuted, she's completely out of control. It seems the amulet absorbed the electricity, making her even stronger and more dangerous. See you again. Hey guys, it's Sheriff Labrador and Sheriff Dobie back again. Today we've jumped into a new mode in Roblox, Escape from Iron Man's prison. This isn't just any prison, it's a fortress packed with high-tech traps, lasers, and security drones. We'll need to use all our skills to get out of here.
Hello, everyone. This mode is awesome. Just imagine, we've been captured by Iron Man himself, or his robotic version, and locked up in his super prison. Everything here is made of indestructible metals and Stark Industries technology. Now our task is to escape before the security drones catch us.
It all starts with us waking up in a cell. Surrounding us are steel walls that seem impossible to break. But I noticed a small ventilation grate in the corner of the cell. That's our first chance to escape. We crawl through it and end up in a huge corridor filled with laser traps.
Yeah, these lasers aren't for the faint-hearted. You have to be very careful not to get caught in them. But that's just the beginning. Once we pass the lasers, we face a huge parkour challenge. The walls and floors are moving. Spikes and electric traps are everywhere. And it's all under Iron Man's control, who's watching us through cameras.
After the parkour, we'll face our first major danger, the security drones. They patrol every corner of the prison and can spot us at any moment. But we've got a little trick. If we move cautiously and hide behind obstacles, we can sneak past them unnoticed.
But that's not all. Once we deal with the drones, we'll face a real boss, the Lego version of Iron Man. He's incredibly strong, with a whole arsenal of lasers, rockets, and other weapons. But we won't give up. We need to use agility, speed, and cunning to defeat him.
And don't forget, before the final showdown, there's another fight. With the Lego version of Iron Man the Chef. He throws giant Lego vegetables at us, and we'll have to dodge and find the weak spots in his armor. It won't be easy, but we'll make it through.
In the grand finale, we'll have an epic battle against the mega robot Iron Man made of Lego. It's a gigantic machine guarding the exit from the prison. We have to defeat it in several stages, destroying parts of its body one by one. But once we take it down, the long-awaited escape and victory will be ours.
And don't forget, before the final showdown, there's another fight. With the Lego version of Iron Man the Chef. He throws giant Lego vegetables at us, and we'll have to dodge and find the weak spots in his armor. It won't be easy, but we'll make it through.
In the grand finale, we'll have an epic battle against the mega robot Iron Man made of Lego. It's a gigantic machine guarding the exit from the prison. We have to defeat it in several stages, destroying parts of its body one by one. But once we take it down, the long-awaited escape and victory will be ours.
It was just another morning in our town. The sun had just begun to rise over the horizon when I, Sheriff Labrador, was already up and ready for the new day. There was nothing unusual about that day until Dobby and I received an emergency call. A malfunction had occurred at the local lab, and strange energy surges were spreading across the city.
We immediately rushed to the scene. When we arrived, we saw the destruction left behind by this mysterious malfunction. The lab's walls were breached, and debris was flying everywhere. At the center of all this chaos stood a massive machine, pulsating with red light. And next to it was Tony Stark himself, in his iconic Iron Man armor. His expression was grim, and it was clear that the situation had spiraled out of control.
Tony quickly explained that he and Bruce Banner had been working on a new project, trying to create an alternative energy source. But something went wrong, and the machine started generating energy they couldn't control. It could explode at any moment, not only destroying the lab, but also the entire city.
We knew we had to act fast. Tony said that his team, the Avengers, was on the way, but it might be too late by the time they arrived. We offered our help, and seeing our determination, Tony assigned us the task of finding a way to shut down the machine from the inside.
We infiltrated the lab where we encountered all sorts of traps and security systems. It seemed as though the machine was defending itself from any interference, but we weren't the type to give up easily. Working together, we managed to break through to the machine's core.
But then we were met with another surprise. The machine wasn't just generating energy, it was creating portals, from which creatures from other dimensions began to emerge. They were aggressive and tried to stop us from shutting down the process. We had to fight them off while figuring out how to disable the device.
At that moment, we heard a powerful roar. It was the Avengers arriving to help. Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, and Hulk stormed into the lab, assisting us in fending off the creatures. Thor struck down several with his hammer, while Captain America shielded us with his shield. It was total chaos. But with their help, we managed to reach the machine's central computer.
With Tony's guidance over the comms, we were able to enter the shutdown code. The machine began to slow down, and the portals started closing one by one. But one of the creatures managed to land a final blow on the control panel, causing a short circuit. A flash of light blinded us, and when we came to, everything was quiet. The machine was off, and all the portals were closed.
The Avengers thanked us for our help, but the story didn't end there. Once everything had calmed down, Tony Stark offered us a chance to join them. He said we had proven ourselves to be true heroes, and that the Avengers were always looking for those ready to fight for good.
We were surprised and excited. Joining the Avengers, it was an honor we never could have dreamed of. Of course, we accepted. And so, we became part of the greatest team of heroes defending the world from threats.
Since then, we've been part of many missions. We fought side by side with Earth's mightiest heroes, protecting our world from alien invasions, evil geniuses, and magical threats. We learned what it meant to be part of something bigger, what it meant to be an Avenger.
And although our adventures were just beginning, we knew one thing. With the Avengers, we were ready for any challenge. We became not just the sheriffs of our town, but the protectors of the entire Earth.
It all started when a new threat began to emerge in our town. A group of high-tech criminals armed to the teeth. They used advanced technology to carry out robberies, hacks, and even attacks on citizens. The usual police equipment couldn't handle them, and the situation was growing more dangerous by the day.
One day, after yet another attack by this gang, Labrador and I decided that we couldn't just sit idly by anymore. We knew we had to do something to protect our town. That's when we had an idea. What if we used technology against the criminals themselves?
Remembering our recent adventures with the Avengers, we realized that we didn't just need a new plan. We needed new powers. And who better to help us than Tony Stark, the genius, billionaire, playboy, and philanthropist? We went to him, explained our problem, and asked for his help.
Tony listened to us carefully, then started thinking. We could practically see his brain buzzing with ideas. Why not? He finally said. Tony suggested creating special suits for us that would turn us into real iron dogs. These weren't just suits of armor, they were full systems capable of adapting to any situation.
We started working with him in his lab. Tony was incredibly generous and gave us access to all his resources. We designed the suits thinking through every detail and function. For each of our unique traits, he created custom systems.
For me, Tony developed a suit with enhanced sensory equipment, allowing me to track enemies from a great distance, even if they were hiding behind walls. I also got powerful energy cannons built into my paws and reinforced armor plates that could withstand even the most powerful attacks.
As for me, Tony created a suit with enhanced claws that could cut through metal and a jetpack for quick movement across the battlefield. My armor was equipped with a system that adapted to damage, automatically strengthening protection in weak spots.
After several weeks of intense work, our suits were ready. We ran test trials in virtual reality, where we faced simulations of those very criminals. Our suits performed brilliantly. We could match their technology and even surpass it.
Then the day came when we first used our new powers in a real battle. The criminals once again tried to rob a bank using their high-tech devices. But this time, they were up against us, the sheriffs in Iron Dog suits.
We quickly neutralized their defense systems, foiled their plans, and prevented the robbery. The criminals hadn't anticipated this turn of events and were stunned by our power. One by one, they tried to escape, but thanks to our new abilities, we captured every last one of them.
The city was saved, and we proved once again that no one could threaten our citizens while we were on guard. But this victory was only the beginning. We knew that our new mission was not only to protect our city, but also to teach other sheriffs and defenders around the world how to use technology for good.
We didn't just become heroes, we became inspirations for many. The Iron Dog suits became symbols not only of strength, but also of wisdom, selflessness, and a desire to protect. Since then, our town sleeps peacefully, knowing that the Iron Dogs are on guard, ready to step up and defend at any moment. Friends, goodbye for now. See you in the next adventure.
Hello, friends. It's me, Sheriff Labrador, and my trusty partner, Sheriff Dobie. Today we're diving into one of the coolest modes in Roblox, Escape from Lilo and Stitch's prison. Yep, Lilo and Stitch, those alien heroes, are now prison guards, and our mission is to escape from them. This mode is full of cosmic traps and puzzles. Are you ready to see us in action? Dobby, do you think we can pull this off?
Hey guys, of course we can. But it won't be easy, Labrador. Stitch is a real monster. Fast, strong, and a little crazy. Lilo isn't far behind, always keeping an eye on order and patrolling the cells. It looks like we'll have to use not just speed, but brains too. Don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment if you want to see how we escape from this cosmic chaos.
You're right, Dobby. Stitch could show up at any moment and start chasing us all over the complex. I heard there are special alien devices on this level that will help us hack the security systems and open the doors. But first, we need to find batteries hidden in different corners of the prison. Ready to go searching?
Absolutely ready. The first thing we'll do is sneak through the ventilation shafts. It's safer than going straight through, especially if Stitch has already started hunting us. Plus, Lilo is constantly checking the cameras, so we need to stay hidden. And don't forget, guys, leave comments with your ideas on how you would escape from Lilo and Stitch.
Good plan, Dobby. The ventilation shafts will lead us to the storage room where the first batteries are hidden. We need to move quickly and quietly to avoid drawing attention. And by the way, friends, if you enjoy our adventures, don't forget to give us a like. We definitely can't pull off this escape without your support.
Exactly. And remember, if we do everything right, we can disable the force fields Lilo set up throughout the complex. But it won't be easy, because Stitch can appear out of nowhere and start chasing us. Well, Labrador, ready for some adventure? And you guys, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss more of our escape missions in Roblox.
Dobby, have you ever thought we'd meet real aliens? I sure didn't expect it. But imagine this. Just recently, while we were sitting on the lawn enjoying the sunset, a huge glowing object appeared in the sky. At first, I thought it was a star or a satellite, but then I realized something was off. It was too bright and approaching too fast, and just as I barked, an alien ship landed right in front of us.
I remember all of it. At first, I thought it was just a big ball someone had thrown too high. But when the ship hovered over the ground and the doors started opening slowly, I nearly jumped. And then those strange beings came out, so tall and glowing. Did you see their big eyes? They were like huge lanterns lighting up everything around. At first, I thought we'd have to run, but instead, they started greeting us.
Yes, it was unbelievable. One of the aliens approached me, and I just stood there, frozen. He didn't do anything threatening, just looked at us and said something in his own language. And then, suddenly I understood him. He was speaking telepathically. He said, "Don't be afraid. We come in peace and want to invite you as guests. We've been watching your planet for a long time, and especially you dogs. You've impressed us greatly."
You know, Labrador, I still can't believe they chose us. Out of all the creatures on Earth, they decided that dogs are the best representatives of the planet. But when they invited us to visit their home, I thought, what about our toys? What about our bones and walks? But then I remembered, they're aliens. This is a chance to see something completely new. And honestly, I couldn't pass up that opportunity.
Exactly. At first, I was worried about how we'd manage without our usual world, but curiosity won out. We boarded their ship, and inside, everything was so strange. The floor was transparent, and it felt like we were floating in the air. The walls were glowing, and these little robots were flying around, checking the ship. I looked over at you and saw your ears twitching with excitement. But honestly, my paws were shaking a little too.
I remember saying to you, Labrador, are you sure they're not taking us to another planet as pets? What if they want to keep us forever? But the aliens were so kind. They even offered us special resting spots on the ship, like our beds, but made of some soft, glowing material. It was so comfortable. And then they showed us a screen with their planet. It was so beautiful, glowing and shimmering in all kinds of colors.
Did you see how it looked from above? Those huge rings surrounding the planet and the strange buildings that seemed to be built upside down. When we landed, they took us to their city, Dobie. It looked like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. There were flying cars everywhere, plants that glowed, and animals, unlike anything on Earth. They were transparent, but moved just like our cats or birds.
Yes, I noticed those transparent creatures. They were so friendly. One of them even came up to me and tried to play, just like our cats. But what surprised me the most was that they had no word for war or conflict. They told us that on their planet, no one fights. Everyone lives in harmony, helping each other and caring for nature. I thought, why isn't it like that on Earth? We could learn so much from them.
Absolutely. They said that on their planet, everyone works together to improve life. Even the animals, as you noticed, play a role in that. Remember how they showed us their schools? Little alien pups were learning to understand the sounds of nature and how to interact with plants. And when they took us through their central park, I was blown away. The trees were glowing, and each one seemed to talk to us, radiating warmth and friendliness.
It was incredible. I remember thinking they lived in some kind of perfect world. But do you remember when one of the aliens told us they'd been searching for someone from Earth to be their ambassadors of friendship? And they chose us. They wanted us to tell the people on Earth about their planet and bring their message of peace. I turned to you and said, Labrador, it looks like we've got a new mission.
Yeah, it felt like a real honor. We're always rescuing someone or helping others, but this was on a whole new level. They asked us to be the bridge between their world and Earth, to share their knowledge and teach others how to live in harmony. We were so touched by their offer that we agreed right away.
And when we returned to Earth, I realized this was just the beginning. We didn't just experience an amazing adventure, but we were given a chance to change something in our world. Now, I feel like our mission isn't just to save people and animals, but to teach them what we learned on that incredible planet. And you know, Labrador, I think we can do it.
Dobby, do you remember the day Lilo called us for help? It was just a regular evening, and we were about to go for a walk when my collar started glowing and a strange symbol appeared on it. I knew right away this wasn't a normal call. It turned out to be an emergency signal from Lilo herself. She said her pet, the alien Stitch, had gone missing and no one could find him. We immediately realized this was serious.
Of course, I remember that moment. Stitch isn't just any pet. He's a real alien experiment with a bunch of superpowers. As soon as I heard he was missing, I knew the search wouldn't be easy. We quickly started making a plan. You, as always, suggested we gather all the available information on Stitch, where he was last seen, and any strange behavior. After all, this is Stitch. We knew he could have disappeared anywhere.
You're right, Dobby. Lilo told us she last saw Stitch near the beach, but then he just vanished. We decided to start searching there. I remember arriving in Hawaii, the place where Lilo and Stitch usually hang out. The beach was quiet, the sun was setting, but there were no signs of Stitch. I thought if he had really gone missing, he might have used one of his abilities to hide. We decided to split up. I'd head into the jungle, and you'd talk to the locals to see if they noticed anything strange.
Yeah, Labrador. I remember running through the village, talking to people. Everyone knew Stitch, and a few said he'd seemed unusually tense in the past few days. Someone mentioned seeing him heading towards an old volcano, but didn't think much of it. Meanwhile, you were searching the jungle. I started worrying that Stitch might be in trouble, but knowing his abilities, I didn't rule out the possibility that he'd gotten caught up with some alien ship or portal.
When I entered the jungle, the first thing I noticed were strange tracks on the ground. They were small, but their shape wasn't from any normal animal. They were Stitch's tracks, leading deeper into the forest. I followed them, but the further I went, the stranger the surroundings became. Suddenly, vines attacked me, wrapping around my paws. I realized they weren't just regular vines. They were something alien. I had to use all my strength to break free. At that moment, I knew Stitch might have been captured by these creatures.
When you didn't respond, I started getting worried. I decided to follow you into the jungle. We couldn't waste time. I remember finding you while you were fighting those strange vines. I rushed to help, fighting through them as you freed yourself. Once we were out, you showed me Stitch's tracks. We followed them together. Everything pointed to something unusual ahead, and my instincts told me we were getting closer to something big.
And then, after a long search, we came upon a clearing with a strange object in the center, resembling some sort of alien mechanism. There were drones flying around it, guarding the entrance. And there, right in the middle, we saw Stitch. He was trapped in some kind of cocoon, and it looked like the mechanism was trying to do something to him. I immediately realized it could be an experiment gone wrong. We had to act fast to save him. Thank you all for listening to our story. We'll see you soon in a new Roblox mode.